Hello everyone, this is Sparks Bricks, and today we're going to checking out a Spanish galleon Lego MOC that I made a few months back. As you can see, it is a really beefy ship. The measurements come out to 27 inches tall and 36 inches long. So that's from the front right here all the way to the back over here. So it's pretty big ship. A lot of difficulty making this, but I will walk you through the ship right here. And this is based off of a early pirate galleon, and they're usually a bit smaller than a lot of the ships that you think of during that time. So this is not too far off from minifig scale. And we'll just take a couple closer looks around. We'll start off down here at the very bottom water line. I started off with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 basic ship holes, solid pieces that Lego makes, and then 2 of the front and the back ones right up there. So that might give you, if you're familiar with building ships, that might give you a bit of reference to how large this thing is. There are 7 cannons on each side. This one's covered by the anchor, so not very well designed right there. But there are 7. And then there are 4 smaller guns on the top. And here's a look at the top deck. We do have a small little rowboat up here. I can take that off. And you can see the grate to the deck below and all 8 of the cannons on top. We're going to take a closer look at these cannons. And it is a pretty simple cannon. Not sure if it's been done before, but it's just the design that I use. It does have a little bit of swivel to it, and they're just supposed to be smaller, more minifigure scale cannons. And I think they do a good job. And we have 8 of those on the top deck up here, and you can see the cannonballs on both sides, including over here. You can see more. There's a nice view of the main deck. Back in the back, I'm not sure if you're gonna be able to see or not, but there is another grate back there with some barrels and even a door to the deck that would I guess be over under here, but you cannot really access it. It's kind of hard. And there's another grate right there that looks down past that. And up here, the ladder to get on top of that deck is on this side, and this brings you to your ship's wheel right here. I based this off blueprints of a real life galleon and couldn't exactly figure out, it didn't have the steering wheel, so couldn't figure out exactly where to put that, and I figured right there was a great spot. Back behind there we got some windows and then an extra cannon, you can see, and then another ladder leading up to a little deck that has some storage, some extra cannonballs, and the ship's bell right there. We'll take a look at the front, and you can kind of see the capstan in there, and that is how you lower and raise the anchor right here. Here's the anchor. More realistic design than just the base piece that Lego provides us. And this little area with the capstan does lead out to the very front of the ship right here. And you can see the door right there, along with the main front mast coming out from inside the deck. Now, you definitely have noticed by now there are not any sails. And that is because, as you can probably see right here, some leftovers of one. But I could not figure out a very good design that fit with this ship. I mean, I've used cloth sails and it just stood out too much. I wanted to keep to his Lego as much as possible, but other than rigging can be a little rough. And speaking of rigging, there is some very basic rigging throughout the ship just to keep all the masts together. Who would have guessed that rigging does its job and works great? There's another rigging area, goes up, connects back there, and then this mast goes up and connects up here, And I will give a big shout out to my friend MOC Bricks. He does a lot of ship builds, and you can actually buy instructions of his ships online, and they're fantastic. And I got these mast design from him. Modified it a little bit to fit with the galleon, but these are basically his mast design. He does a great job, and they work fantastic. Let me move this rowboat out the way so we can take a closer look at the back of the ship. That is pretty large. I think it weighs about 6 or 7 pounds, so it can be kind of a hassle to move around. Here's the back ship's rudder. It does move in and out, and we have 2 more gun ports on the very back of the ship, some also known as chase cannons, so they can do that. And of course, you can see the Leviathan tile right there from the ship in the bottle. I guess we'll call it the Leviathan. I just thought it would look nice right there, and then a little ship's light. I think they came together really well. It's hard to get this shape right here built in Lego, but took some inspiration from other people's builds and then a few wooden models to get it. And this technique right here, let me switch hands for the camera. This technique right here is pretty well used by a lot of shipbuilders. It's just slope pieces. On top of that, we have inverted, these plates are inverted out, and then the whole side of the hull is set on an angle, so it kind of gives that nice shape and the nice rounding out and up shape that these ships had. And I think it works great. A lot of people don't like how it kind of stair steps up, but I love that. It very much looks like Lego. And in case you want to know more about this technique, I'm going to be building a new ship in the near future, and I will go into more detail about doing this technique for the hull. And it has a lot of headlight bricks surrounding all the way down here, all the way up there, and then the other side is just mirrored. No entry to the top railing right here. I guess the captain's quarters would be in there. And you can see some more windows on the side over here. And I'm sure you've noticed by now the color scheme. It's not just plain brown. A lot of Spanish galleons were very colorful in the early 17th century, or I would say late 17th century. They were very colorful, and I like this color scheme. I did a few trials of it with a lot more colors, and I think the red, white, and light blue look great for it. It's not too much color, and we have that main stripe continuing all the way across the ship. I really like these little areas too. I just think it turned out great. And they do carry along all the way to the other side, which I'll try to take a look at in a little bit. But then these cannons are stationary, so there's no moving them, there's no closing these. This is strictly a display piece. Could not do much in terms of play features or anything. It is very heavy, so it had to have a lot of filler brick on the inside. You can't really see because how dark it is down there, but it is definitely not hollow. There's a lot of filler brick keeping this whole thing together. And it is very stable other than the side walls right here, because those are all held together by hinges on each one of these. Another way of how you do this, you slowly go up until you get that desired shape. Go up by one plate, and it will give a nice curved look that you can really see from the rear. That nice curved look that we're going for with this ship. And then the front, I believe was the most challenging part, because the slant of the hull ends right here, because I had to get this hinged to go at a more of a sudden curve. So I ended up just doing a little straight part right here, and it looks all right here in the middle. The farther you get up, the more this sticks out. And so by the time you're at the top, you're a whole stud over than where I really wanted to be. But I think it still works. It works or it does its job at least. And then that goes up right there into the front of the galleon, which I think is one of the most iconic parts of the galleon. That square, I would say square, the half triangle sticking out the front. Yeah, the front took a while. It was a lot of trial and error, trying new things, tearing them down, trying new things, tearing them down. But I do love the way it just turned out. It was one of my favorite builds that I've done. You've already seen on my channel the Viking ship, but that is nowhere near as large as this. And here's a minifigure. This is my Spanish soldier minifigure, and you can see just how large it is compared to him down there. It takes 2 hands to move. Oop. And you better have a big space if you want to display it. Now, I was going to bring this to Brick Fair, Virginia this year in 2020, but it was canceled, sadly. So I'm not sure if this MOC is going to travel anywhere in the future. I am building another ship that is like this, so I might be tearing this down and using the parts, because there is quite a bit in here. I have no idea how many parts, I mean, how many thousands of parts were used in this. It took about 3 or 4 months, 4 months with, I would say about 4 months, considering it took about a month to plan, just plan things out, get a lot of reference from, I like to use the wooden ship models. They usually, like those blueprints, usually have a lot of detail in them of how to build things. I just try to transfer that over into Lego, and I do love the way it turned out. We can keep turning this a little bit more. You can see the front mast is a little loose. Here's a front view of it. Looks very, very cool from the front, I must say. Sorry about the background, by the way. I don't have a display space big enough to display this entire thing. But here's a look at the other side. Never finished the anchor on this side, but that's all right. And here's a look at the other side with the cannons closed. If you look down here, you can see that nice hole shape that I was talking about. And I'll go into more detail in another video on how I did that and the best way to go about doing that. And I think that is about it. That's about all I wanted to show you. If you have any questions, please leave them down in the comments below. I was thinking about just doing a quick little tutorial how to make these cannons, since a lot of people over on Instagram really liked them. I think they work great. And I think that is all I wanted to show you today. So thank you very much for watching. Hopefully I can keep providing content. There's gonna be a lot more work in progress things, because a lot of the MOCs I do make take quite a long time to build, considering I'm ordering so many pieces, and I'm working on a few different projects all at once. But this is one of my very few fully completed MOCs. So I wouldn't say fully completed. There's stuff still that I would like to do to it. And who knows, this might end up in Brick Fair, Alabama in 2021, if that ends up happening. So you might be able to see it somewhere. But please let me know what you think about it. If you follow me on Instagram, you've probably seen it a few times. And this is on Lego Ideas. I made that a while ago. Hasn't done too great on support, but that's all right. It was a very cool project to work on. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. I'm Sparks Bricks, and I will see you in the next one.